There you
Well,
are.
we can hear it now. Here we go. All right. Welcome to Recover Out Loud, episode number 54, brought to you by the Antisocial Network. Today, we got a pretty cool guest. I'm not going to do what I did before I hit record and be like, she's cool. She's the shit. I'm going to let her introduce herself, but her name is Stephanie McPherson. How you doing, Stephanie?
I am doing damn fantastic. Such an honor to be here. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Man, I'm excited to have you on the show. I really am. So, would you like to give a formal introduction of yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Stephanie McPherson, and one of my best friends years and years ago came up with the nickname Funny, which you'll see um, in my little name tag area there. She's like, you know what, Stephanie? Your name isn't Stephanie. Your name is Funny because you're so funny. And humor is a big, huge part, and it always has been. Silliness and humor and big energy has always been a part of my entire life. Excuse me, even when I was a child. And who am I? It's like, wow, what do we unpack there? I would say that. Well, first, my credentials. Okay, so I consider myself a worthiness coach. I'm a worthiness coach. At the end of the day, that's what it's about. It's like, so we got it. I'm a health coach and I'm a life coach, but the health and the life are just kind of byproducts of, oh, I have immense worth and value, and I'm going to live my life, with intention and on purpose. So, but where that comes from, who am I? Okay, I'm way too much for most. Okay, and always have been. So, even as a child, I was, majorly picked on and outcast, and not picked for the kickball team because I was super hyper, and that was annoying to those that, even as children, I felt like there's this subconscious need to fit in, to be like everyone else instead of being, outside of that box. And like, I'm boxless. I don't even have a box. But living life in an authentic way like that enables an enormous amount of freedom. And that's what I seek is freedom. And in seeking freedom, there's a lot of joy and elated excitement that comes along with that, in being your authentic self and not being a people pleaser, not worried about what people think. And it's like you and I were talking before we went live or started to record. It's that's why I started Empowered Conversations. So I'm having conversations like I'm having with you at this moment, with people. Like, that's just what I do. It's either I can't talk about remedial fucking bullshit. It's either you got to be stimulating me intellectually or making me laugh, and to a fault that can be like a little bit of an issue. It's like, okay, we got to get deep here. We got to get deep, or otherwise I get bored and my energy will start to fade. In like social situations, or we just got to be like being silly and super fun. But so living my life that way again has just caused a lot of rejection in my life, because so many people, and I think it starts with what parents are telling children as a way in which they think that they're keeping them safe. Keep up with the Joneses. No, be authentic. Be who you're naturally here to be. And again, being that way and being rejected and being hurt, instead of that causing me to have resentment and resentment towards others, and like being a victim, my life. I see myself as a victor. Yeah, every person on the planet is a victim of some form of negativity. But it's like, what I chose to do with the negativity that's constantly been ejected at me my entire life is turn that into, what? I'm fucking fabulous. And
Yeah.
it makes me feel good. I feel good being fabulous and authentic. So that being said, with that rejection and that pain, and I've suffered like job loss because not people I've been in outside sales. I have the personality, the drive for outside sales, selling people. My customers love me. And, but people that I work with at these corporate companies that I'd been a part of for years and years, even though I was one of the top salespeople, like the people I work with they're the ones with issues. And so I was constantly, like losing jobs, even though I was like number one salesperson, always doing my job. And that was causing, so like, pull out the rug from under me situations. But I would always be like, you know what? It never stopped me. None of the rejection I've ever experienced has told me, stop being who you are. Stop. Be something else. Be what makes everybody comfortable. And I have this saying. I say, it hit me, years ago. Like, live your life caring what other people think, and you're their prisoner.
Yeah.
So while there is freedom in being authentic and being real, there's still pain and rejection, because and this hit me as well. If I wasn't me, how would I react to me?
Yeah.
And so you also, it's like, okay, put yourself in other people's shoes. So with all this combined, it enables me to come from a place of lack of judgment, but empathy. Okay, so for other people and their situations. So I have a pair of feet, and they fit in these shoes perfectly, but my feet ain't gonna fit in your shoes. Your shoes, your feet ain't gonna fit in mine. So I don't judge. I have empathy, but still I have to go, okay, I even though, I take a risk, run the risk of being rejected, it just doesn't stop me from showing up authentically. And so with my coaching, worthiness coaching, that's one of the driving factors to enable. So I don't do anything for anybody, but I work as a catalyst by working with my client within them, that feeling of that deep sense of, who am I? What do I want? What do I love? What lights me up? What brings me immense amount of joy? That is what I want to, that's what I'm living for. I'm not living just to get through life, just get up, go to work, come home, eat. I mean, you know what I mean? So many
Yeah.
people are just getting through life, and that's not what life's about.
Absolutely. You bring a fire, and I love that, right?
Thank you.
You bring a passion for life, and a passion for the deeper things in life, and I have an immense respect for that, because I myself, I love to live in the deep end of things, which you brought up, and you said it's a very lonely place, and it very much is, right? Uh,
Mhm.
I've been outcast out of certain circles because I love to live in the deep end.
Mhm.
I've been held in positions because I love to live in the deep end, and people have stereotyped you like to live in the deep end, so it's hard to relate to you. Yeah, but you know what? If I'm not living in the deep end, who the fuck is? Who's going to?
Right. Exactly.
Nobody's going to step in my place to do that.
Mhm.
So
And in
yeah,
doing that, you're also giving other people, at the end of the fucking day, you're giving other people the permission to live in their deep end, whatever that is.
Mhm.
But,
Mhm.
being real with oneself, knowing thyself, is the greatest gift and the greatest wisdom that anybody can possess.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's the thing, is like, a lot of people don't know who they are. They've
Right.
lost that sense. You talked about not being in a box, not being cookie
Mm.
cutter,
Yeah.
and actually, the person that I recorded before you talked about being beat into a box by her cultural standards and by her family. Being beat into a box, pretty much. And it seems like you took a matchbook to that box and lit that motherfucker on fire and let it
Mhm.
burn.
Yeah. Yes, I did. Yes, I did, because and there again, when I feel stifled or when I feel backed into a corner, like, wherever it comes from, it's just this to obliterate that, to obliterate whatever is causing, that feeling of being confined in a box or backed into a corner. And yeah, that's just, it's just not happening. It's just not happening. But I run the risk. Again, I have risk because I could, I could have had, I could have stayed in one of those jobs. I could still be in one of the jobs that I got fired from because of bullshit, that other people couldn't handle, not me. I mean, like I said, I don't follow rules, but I wasn't like, I wasn't doing anything that company wise would go, well, we need to fire her. I mean, I was one of the number one salespeople. My customers loved me, and it's just like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that saying. It's like the saying from Dirty Dancing: nobody puts baby in a corner, nobody puts
Yeah.
Stephanie in a box. Okay.
Hell to the no.
Hell no. All right. Anyways. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna go ahead and dive deep into it. What was it like for you in your struggle?
And my what? In my struggle?
Yeah.
What was it like in my struggle? So are you asking specifically in relation to like job loss or
Life.
struggling in life? What is it like? What is it like for me is, again, I kind of like what I was describing. Is there, there is no, it's a fit, painful, but I still am goddamn determined to experience elated excitement and joy in my life that I am hypnotized and brainwashed by that which I do on a daily basis that creates so much joy and excitement and fun and happiness and whatever in my life. And that's not to say I'm experiencing that every moment. But, like for instance, like getting up and being intentional how I start my day. Okay. Oh, you know what? I'll tell you a specific example. I worked for a company 3 years ago. It was 2019. I was there 3.5 weeks. And there was a national sales meeting. I was there. And a group of male employees, to this day, we do not know why, but they made up the first thing, I was in my room sleeping, and they made up that I was drunk, overserved, and acting inappropriate. But we proved with video surveillance, key fob entry into my hotel room, that couldn't have been me because I was in my room sleeping when they were claiming I was, acting inappropriate. When that didn't work, they came back and said that I'd shared naked photos of myself. Oh, yeah. Okay. So clearly they wanted rid of me. So that was devastating. That was like one of the worst experiences but you know what, Sean, I'm going to tell you right now, the day that I was on that conference call with the HR director and my manager, and the HR director was, telling me that, that it has been confirmed by several, employees that I did indeed share inappropriate pictures. That was inappropriate. We didn't know it was nude until the lawyer came back, was like, it was nude photos. Like, nah, no, that never happened. But anyway, and she's like, you're terminated. I get off the call. I go upstairs. I tell my roommate, I said, I just got fired. And she's like, what? You know what I did? I said, all right, I got to get to the EOC. I got to I got to take care of this. But you know what I did first? I said, I'm going to get in my gym clothes and I'm going to go to the gym. I still went to the gym. I went, worked out, came home, took my shower, went down to the EOC, because I will stand up and I will fight for myself, especially when I am right. Yeah. And every day, so that shook me. That whole experience shook me to my core, and that was really devastating. But every day I still, this is one thing I did do. I watched one of the most inspiring documentaries personally that I've ever watched. It was Look, Mom, I Can Fly. Travis Scott. Yeah. And every morning I'd be in my kitchen. And luckily I have an Alexa. I don't have a Google, but I have a Google one here. And I'd be like, hey, Google, play Travis Scott. And and I would dance. And that's how I would start my day every day as I cooked my breakfast and got my super greens ready, because that lifted me, because it was gut wrenching. That lifted me. Whatever it took to experience what I know I was worthy of experiencing, which was fun, elation, joy, happiness. I wasn't allowing that situation to hold my energy. I mean, it was in my life for a reason, but I wasn't allowing it to hold me back. So what is the struggle like for me? It's like It's struggle might not be the right word, but it is perseverance. It is, I am determined. I want to experience. I know what I'm worthy of, and that's what we're going to do. And I don't deny. They're still working on. There's the meditations. There's a why is this? What was in that experience? What was in that experience for me? For me, and I thought it was a forgiveness. I thought it was energetically, karmically. So I worked on that. It's not like I deny things.
Yeah.
I ask why things, and then I work through understanding. That gives me a greater perspective. Okay, so I'm still playing a part. My energy is still a part of their energy. What did I do? What energy was I manifesting that brought that situation into my life that I need to transform so that a different frequency, a higher frequency, is where I can manifest something that's of that equivalent value. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think that situation that you were put in, that's pretty that's rough. That's shitty. It really is shitty. When people start to target you and
Hmm.
and make up bullshit lies about you. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that sucks. But I think you handled it appropriately, and you didn't let that shake you to your core, and you fought for yourself. So you go to
Yeah.
fight for yourself, and I'm pretty goddamn sure fight for yourself you did. And what happened after that?
Yeah. So what happened after that? So several months went by. I told you, I mentioned meditation, and I do like, okay, yo, I'm a very spiritual atheist. I'll just go put that out there. So when I mean that, or what I'm saying when I say that is, tarot cards, crystals, meditation, asking, journaling, writing, manifesting, all of that, 100% is I believe in, because I create my reality. I am responsible for it, good and bad, all energy. Again, I asked, okay, where am I contributing to bringing that experience? So for a long time, I would meditate, and I was doing I Ching. I was trying to understand, what was in that situation for me. So further on in the story, several months went by, and I thought that, okay, this is a huge, huge, powerful lesson or teaching, silver lining, whatever you want to call it, in forgiveness. Like, these people clearly, like, what I obviously I didn't do anything that they claimed that I did, but why? What in themselves? What that they're lacking, or they feel, not that they're lacking, because nobody's lacking anything. It's a belief that I'm lacking something. So their belief that they're lacking something, or their intimidation of me, whatever, because of their feeling of lacking, caused them to make shit up and have me so fired. Again, the empathy. So okay. So then after the shock and the anger and the devastation, and just getting through the shock of that, getting through, you know, anxiety and depression. Still, it doesn't matter. It didn't mean I didn't feel it, Sean. I still got up every day. I still went to the gym. I still take care of myself. I still surround myself with that which I want to experience. But it doesn't mean I don't experience pain, or I wasn't experiencing depression. So getting through that, meditating, and I thought that situation was for me as a part of forgiveness, because similar things like that have happened, like, repeatedly, not exact situations, but similar types of energy. Okay, I'm like, okay, Stephanie, what is it you're supposed to learn? Then, so that was like let's see, this happened back in March of 2019. So by August, I thought, okay, this is forgiveness. Maybe this is a forgiveness energy that I'm supposed to bring more awareness of in my life. Well, I was at a bachelorette party, and a girlfriend of mine who was there, she was none the wiser that any of that had happened to me. And she's like, "So how's your new job?" I'm like, "Oh, you didn't know I got, I was I told her." And her physical, she just sunk. And then she told me her own personal story of being at a company, a corporate company. They were at an outing. it wasn't like a Monday, like a 9 to 5. They were out at a dinner outing, but it was still company sponsored, company paid for the employees. And she was at dinner and she gets up to go to the bathroom. And her manager comes in to the bathroom and she was washing her hands. She remembers being at the sink and she looked up and he was behind her. He had dropped his pants and he had exposed himself.
Wow.
And she turns around and, and she pushes him, off of her, or he wasn't like on her. He was just standing there with himself, but she pushes him, away from her he falls back into the stall and she runs out. Well, she reports it to HR the next. And this was HR's motherfucking response. Well, you know what, so-and-so, you're just going to have to get over it. He is such and such so-and-so with the company. He's being transferred to Italy, in 2 weeks. Just let it go, because if you move forward with trying to do something, it's going to be a huge waste of your time. And then the woman asks, so is he as hung as everybody says he is? The HR director. So listening to my friend's story, all of a sudden, like all that I had, I guess in essence, kind of suppressed or repressed. I mean, that might not be the analogy, because again, I thought this was about forgiveness, but whatever I had allowed myself, lessons in forgiveness, all of a sudden it just started like boiling. And I realized, no, that was not the reason I experienced that. The reason I experienced that is because I am supposed to speak up and out. And I'm not using names, but I've been writing an autobiography since 2015. So this is 4 years before that particular incident. And the autobiography is called, the emoji like this?
Yeah.
What the fuck? F***CK. A hilarious account of all the bullshit I've been through and other fabulous life happenings. And it is a tale. It's not a victim tale. It is a victor tale. But there's a huge chapter where that particular story is a part of it, of that chapter, among 3 others.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's women have it really fucking hard in this world. Like, and I'm gonna say that right off the bat. Women have it hard. Men have it hard, but women have it hard in this instance, because you're kind of told to shut the fuck up and deal with it, just like your friend was. And that's bullshit. That should not be a response that anybody has whatsoever.
Well,
Especially,
ironically, I'm sorry, go ahead. I cut you
I
off.
was just saying, especially HR. HR shouldn't be having that response. Just deal with it.
Well, that's what was said to her.
Yeah.
But with me, like, ironically, the guy, okay, so, I had to hire an attorney because it was just inappropriate photo. You shared an inappropriate photo. I'm like, no, I was sharing my cooking show videos off of YouTube because everybody was like, hey, I hear you're a health coach and I hear you have a cooking show. I was being introduced at this company meeting like that. And I would go to YouTube. There was never even a mistake that I would have shown some inappropriate photo of myself. So it took me hiring an attorney to interact with their attorney for their attorney to come back and, on an initial call with, this guy. He says that she shared 2 nude photos. That's when we found that's just what he said. But ironically, Sean, the night we were sitting there, he was sharing pictures of himself competing in bodybuilding competitions while I was sharing my cooking show videos. Now, I personally am not offended by bodybuilding pictures, but at a company event, a company meeting on company time, sharing pictures of yourself in a weenie bikini on stage. Do you see, if I was like, I could be doing fitness competitions, and if I was at a company meeting sharing, look at me in my hot well, maybe not hot, sexy. That's the wrong 2 words. Scratch that. But my fitness competitions, I get it. But that's inappropriate. Here, look at me. Here I am, still in a string bikini thong, maybe. some of them are, showing off my physique, which can be looked at upon. My mama would be offended. Do you see
Right.
what I'm saying? You don't know who your audience is.
Yeah.
But he was the one who was actually sharing inappropriate photos.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Anyways, we
Yeah.
digress. All
Yes.
right, let's talk about your cooking show on YouTube. What is it called, and why did you start it? I'd like to know that.
OMG. Oh my God. Thank you. God, thank you. Um, DeFaRekinlious is the name of my cooking show. I published my first cookbook last year. Okay, you see the spelling. D,
Yeah.
and it's not DeFrickin', y'all. It's DeFaRekinlious. Healthy is delicious. Okay, so how that started. In 2016. Okay, so I know that I want to be hosting with every ounce of my being. My heart pounds to be hosting cooking shows for the Food Network. I have had this desire, this passion, this knowing that that's one of my life goals that I was going to achieve back when I first started started watching the Food Network back in the late 90s. I was like, I remember seeing it the first time on a TV because I always loved cooking with my grandmother, always loved cooking. And I'd been on this health and wellness journey for a few years at that point in time. And I am stopped in my tracks as I'm walking to the living room and the Food Network happens to be on the TV. And I'm like, oh my God. About jumped
Food
in the
all the
TV. I'm
time.
like, huh? What?
Food all the time on the TV.
Oh my
Holy shit!
God. Food Network is life to me. But I was in college at the time getting a bachelor's in biology with trying to get into pharmaceutical sales and then surgical equipment. And when I saw that, and I used to play restaurant when I was like 3, 4, 5 years old with my mama. So I always knew that I wanted to also own my own restaurant, And so when I saw that, I was like frozen. I was like, boom, I mapped out a plan. I'm going to finish my biology degree. I'm going to, go into pharmaceutical sales and I'm going to go into surgical equipment because I love being in the OR. Love watching surgery. I'm going to have my own restaurant one day and I'm going to be hosting cooking shows for the Food Network. Boom, bam, done and done. So everything's happening except for the pharmaceutical. And I'm not on the Food Network yet. Okay, but let me tell you how it is. So I become certified as a health coach in 2016 through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. It's a year-long certification course, and I was thinking about what my Food Network show would be like. Big fun, energy, all about healthy. Got to be healthy, but delicious, delicious, delicious food. I know what it's like because when I was 20 years old and I first started the journey to health and wellness, I grilled chicken, tuna, vegetables, bland food, but I was dedicated. I did what it took, and I love the physical results. But through a multi-year subscription to Cooking Light is when I started to learn how to teach how to make healthy food really scrumptious. So anyway, I'm driving to the gym and okay. You know the movie Snatch?
Yeah.
Oh God, one of my favorite movies. Y'all, straight up, I've probably seen it a few hundred times. It's one of my favorite movies. And the scene where Turkish and Tommy go in to tell Bricktop that they lost Gorgeous George. So they show up because Gorgeous George got knocked out by Mickey over that caravan bullshit. Anyway, they frickin' uh, and Bricktop's like, you're going to have to repeat that. And Turkish goes, we lost Gorgeous George. He goes, well, where'd you lose him? It's not as though he's a set of fucking car keys, and it's not as though he's inconspicuous now, is it? So I'm driving to the gym. I'm thinking of a show name, that I was ready to jump, and inconspicuous like popped it because I just watched the movie probably for the 1,000th time the night before. That scene pops into my head, and this is my ADD brain, and all of it comes together, and I just went DeFaRekinlious. I went, oh my God, that's cool. That's where the name comes from. And like either that day or the next day, I took my iPhone, I put it up in my little holder, my little iPhone holder. It was a gingerbread. It was so cute. and I hit record and I did my first video. It was like 17 minutes long and I was dancing and it's not great quality video. You can't really see, but it didn't matter. I didn't care. I jumped. I jump. I think fast. I act quicker. I don't, so many people might go, oh, well, I don't have like the right cameras. I don't have the right, I'm like, no, boom. And I posted it and I had all these people comment and laughing. Oh my God, 1,700 views in like a day. And then I learned how to edit, in iMovie. Sean, my entire show has been shot with iPhones. I started using a separate iPhone to film down, so at least so you're getting both angles, zooming in, zooming out. I've learned how to cut and edit, add video effects with Videorama, and I'm in the process of working with somebody on a much more professional level because I get it, y'all. It's time to up level. It's time to take it to the next level, and to create like what I have in my mind and my heart, a show about healthy, delicious food served with a big fun personality and humor, but with also a little twinge, a little punch of mindset and mindfulness and being intentional.
That's awesome. So what does cooking do for you?
Oh my God, I love it. I love cooking. So I'm also a private chef and caterer. And like oh yes. So like most recently, one of my most recent clients, her doctor was like, you need to eat more fish, mostly salmon because of the omegas that your body's needing. And this will, improve your quality, like your health. And when I'm cooking food or whether I'm cooking for my boyfriend, whether I'm catering an event, regardless, but I remember for her specifically, because she has a health reason why she's getting 3 salmon meals per week.
Yeah.
And, I'm just like, it just elates me, even though sometimes it can be a pain in the ass. Maybe I don't have enough room on the counter or I'm like, it's just like, knowing when I'm doing something that's good for somebody that they're going to enjoy. Because Sean, I'm going to tell you right now, my food is scrumptious, and anybody will tell you also, like whenever I make food, for people, I'm like, eat my, like I catered or not catered, but I hosted an event, a Galentine's Day event, and I made all this food and stuff, and I'm like, did you eat the pepper poppers? Did you get? I mean, it's like I'm shoving it down, being like, what'd you think? You like it? You like? Don't tell me you don't like my food.
Yeah.
I'm just passionate. I'm passionate about food, and yeah.
Yeah, I find that when I cook and people eat my food, I I look for their response, right? I'm like, you didn't like it. You didn't like, and they're like, no, it's good. I'm like, don't bullshit me. Don't lie to me. You didn't like it, and that's okay because the taste buds aren't the same for everybody. But I know that I
Right.
really enjoy cooking for people for their response because there's a few things that bring humans together: food, music, and drink. And
Absolutely.
you bring one of the three in there, and you've got yourself, a hell of a party. But anyways, anyways, so we'll move on from there. Your health and wellness and worthiness coach.
Mhm.
Where did that come from?
So the worthiness, okay, so I'm a certified health coach and I'm also a certified mindset life coach, through other modality trainings and certifications I received. But why I call myself a worthiness coach is because at the end of the day, you can check the boxes and you can do the things, but if there's no feeling of real worth and value that you're tying to the why you're doing it, then it's just that's why so many people fail with programs that they start and they either don't finish them or they lose 10 or 15 pounds, but it's like, oh, I'm not sticking with this because I haven't really tied this deep soulful worth of, by motherfucking God, I am worth this. I'm worth feeling good. I'm worth having more energy. I'm worth loving what I see when I look in the mirror. I don't care what anybody else thinks. My boy, like, if I don't like what I see, my boyfriend can say, Stephanie, I think you're beautiful. Wow. I can be critical, but I have to like what I see. And that's going to be different for everybody. But so many people, and that's where we get to the heart. We get to the heart of what do you want? Why do you want it? I was in one of the saddest experiences, as far as not sad experience, like the whole experience wasn't sad, but there was a piece that wound up being a little bit sad, and it was a an oil class, an essential oil class, and it was all women, and you had the two facilitators, and then you had like seven of us women sitting around a table. We're here for this class. And one of the exercises that we were all to do within our little handbook, our little workbook, was to write seven things that we love about ourselves. Well, I've been on this journey since 1996. So for me, it was like, I just, I'm this, I'm that, I'm great at this, I love this, blah, blah, blah. But then I happened to look around, and all the other women at the table are just kind of sitting there, and they're just looking, and they're looking, and they're looking around, and you feel like they're uncomfortable. They're uncomfortable. They number one don't know, but they're also uncomfortable with even the realization of how fabulous and fucking phenomenal and wonderful they really are. And the facilitator, like, she finally goes, yeah, it's hard to think of what we like about ourselves, isn't it? And I remember thinking, like, wow, that's sad. So again, that's tied to worth and value, because maybe, like you mentioned earlier about, women having it hard, but men, everybody has it. Everybody has a different degree of hardness. And we, as women, yes, we are told, and I mean, we're moving. Clearly, we're moving away, but we have so much farther to go. We have so much farther to go. But like, be seen, not heard, be humble. Like, so many people give at the complete expense of themselves. There's a reason why they say put your mask on first, but so many women will be like, oh, I gotta put my child's mask, I put my grandma's mask on before I put my mask on. Well, what? Well, if you're dead because you didn't put your mask on, then you're really no good to no damn body.
Yeah.
And I think, people in general, and this is like an aching, heart pounding passion for me, is for people to just really, really just feel like, God, I love myself. God, I mean, I'm amazing. I can do this. I can do that, and stand strong in that power. In power doesn't mean you're better than anybody else. I ain't no better. I am no better than nobody. I don't care what your actions are, but my feeling of worth is very powerful, and I just want everybody to experience that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think for so long, as a society, we were told that if you love yourself, if you brag about yourself, then you're conceited, you're self-centered, you're selfish, and that's all bullshit, right? Because you can love yourself.
Mhm.
There's a fine line between being conceited and being proud, and showing that pride and being proud. And I think for so long that as a society we've not we blurred the lines between what is healthy and unhealthy thinking, and we're starting to get to that point now, with your help and help of many people like you, to get to
Yes.
that point where it's like you're fucking worthy of love, you're worthy of happiness, you're worthy of all the good things in life. And I had to get to that point where I could look at myself in the mirror and be like, you are worthy of all the good shit in your life. Because for so long in my
Yes.
life, I've been told I was nothing. I've been told that I was less than, that I didn't deserve shit, that I was a horrible human being, even though I really do shit to like receive that, right?
Right.
It's just society kicking you right in the balls. And so
Mhm.
like I think as a society we need to uplift ourselves and then help uplift other people, which you're doing.
Yes. Yes. A frickin' man.
Yeah. So what are some of the deficits that you see in human beings when you encounter them, when you're working with them, as far as like the worthiness coaching and everything like that? What are some of the defaults that you see people are facing?
One of the biggest ones is the people pleasing, is the need again to be liked. I hate not being liked. It hurts. I get it. but it's the fear of not being liked, not being accepted, or or the fear of, if I go for this, like, there's also the fear of success, because
Yeah.
once you play at a certain level, you got to keep up. You got to keep that, keep it up. It doesn't mean your life is perfect. My life ain't perfect. My life is not perfect. But it's like, it's that level of, but it also, what comes with that is further empowerment. Oh wow,
Mhm.
you see the results, the positive results of playing, and like, let's say, let's on a scale from like 1 to 20. Somebody's at a 2, okay? And then, they start, working with me, and we start working with, pulling all that stuff that's going to make them a 20 plus that they already have. But it's about pulling that. So they're not going from 2 to 20, they're going from 2 to 3. Then maybe 3 to 5, 5 to 6, 6 to maybe 8. But along the way, when you look back and you go, oh, wow, look how I've come. And it gives more, if physical and mental and emotional energy. Wow, look at what I've done today. What more can I achieve? What more? What else is possible? What else is possible? What else can I achieve? What else? Because when you don't know what you don't know, because for whether it's because you've repressed it down, because you listen to society, you listen to your parents, you listen to you, whatever institutions that you grew up in and around, you then, but once you let, like, all that stuff starts to fall away, and it's like, it's an empowering, like, I can do anything. I can do anything.
I see that. I see a lot of people that don't get to that point of being able to say I can do anything, right? And dude, to be honest, I had a fear of success, complete
Hmm.
fear of success, right? It's like I might as well stop now because it's going to get to a point where I'm going to have to maintain that same level. And it's like, why am I scared to maintain that? Right? Why am I
Hmm.
so afraid to be successful? Um,
Hmm.
why am I okay with self sabotaging? Because I've done that my whole life. I self sabotaged so many relationships. I've self sabotaged so many instances where I could have been successful, but I fucked it up. And I think that that fear of success severely outweighed that fear of failure for me.
Hmm.
And so is that some, I know you talked about the fear of success, but is that something that you see normally?
Well, I mean, even within myself, I call it imposter syndrome, and I'm going to give you an example. So, I'm going to use Oprah Winfrey, which I'm sure
Mhm.
you know. And do you know who
Yeah.
Tony Robbins? Okay,
No,
so
no, I don't know who they are. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just like, okay, so when someone, like anybody from the outside looking at them, it's like, wow, look at what they have achieved. Look at wow, like the impact, like the whole gamut of, what someone could look at and go, wow, that's amazing. But I assure you that Oprah Winfrey and Tony Robbins have what I call imposter syndrome. It's like, it's like this fear of, wow, I've got to keep playing, I've got to keep playing bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not necessarily about playing bigger and bigger, because that's ego. It's the ego. It's about, like, being just happy and proud. But I go through it myself, is like, if I'm not being perfect, like if I allow myself to be a cunt on the phone with customer service, like everybody's like, oh, Stephanie's so fun and she's so positive, blah, blah, blah. Get me on the phone where I'm irritated, and it's operator error, y'all. It's 100% me. I'm not understanding for whatever, whether it's my Nest or whether it's my Ring doorbell or whatever. It's not the representative, but I'm getting frustrated, and it's just like, and I'm like, that's something that I make a concerted effort. So instead of beating myself up, oh God, I had this girl on my podcast. Her name was Elise Falzone, like Calzone,
Mhm.
Falzone, and she brought up something so incredibly profound, because we all have ugly and we all have beautiful. And it's you, but when you have that ugliness, you're like, I love you too. I love you too. You have to love all yourself. And I assure you that where it becomes relatable is like, wow, I bet Oprah has days where she's not feeling, you know, Oprah,
Mhm.
or Tony Robbins is feeling, oh my God, I'm so magnificent. I mean, we all have days or moments where it's just like I'm not, am I really that good? Am I really as good as I'm out here telling everybody I am?
Yeah.
But yeah, you are,
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of Tony Robbins, one of the first TikTok videos I ever seen was of him. I don't know if you've seen this one, but the red shoes. Have you seen that video, red shoes?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm gonna go
Okay,
look
so
for it.
there's this guy that was in the crowd, and he had asked a question, and Tony literally left the stage, walked up to him, and was like, "Why do you hate yourself? Why do you hate yourself?" And that hit me hard because I was at a point in my life where I was just stepping out of that shadow, right? Stepping out
Hmm.
of hating myself. And when he said, "Why do you hate yourself?" I was like, "Fuck you, Tony. You son of a bitch. I hate you too." But no, like when he said that, he was like, "Oh, it has to be the red shoes, right?" And it made everybody laugh. But pretty much what he said is that you have to love yourself before you can accept love from other people. And it's not other people's responsibility to love you. It's your
Hmm.
responsibility to love yourself and in turn be able to receive the love from other people. And that was the hardest shit for me to understand, to realize and grasp, right? Because like I hated myself for so long because of how I felt about myself, how I perceived the world perceived me, and how I
Hmm.
perceived the world. And so when I really started to step out of that, and I learned that, like, I get this little tidbit every single time when I need it, that part of me that said I need to love myself, not in a conceited way, but I need to love myself and I need to grow in that, and I'll be able to receive the love from other people. That was hard. And it,
Yeah.
dude, I literally had my counselor like a month ago be like, "Do you feel worthy of love?" And I said, up until about 3 months ago, no, I didn't. I didn't feel worthy of love. And that's that worthiness. That's what you teach, and being on, or unapologetically you, authentically you, and being able to receive that, which is given to you, with grace, and be able to give that back.
Absolutely. So my question to you is when you had that epiphanic moment, I call them epiphanic moments of, fuck you, Tony, but in a humor. I know you mean like,
Yeah.
fuck you, Tony. Like, wow, that was a revelation, an epiphanic moment for you to go, wow, like what more? Like, yes, I'm worthy of love. And was that what catapulted you discovering and who Sean is?
Kind of yes and no. I was
Mhm.
already on this path of self discovery, and I was already on this path of like I just call it this fucking journey. Like it was this journey. That's what we're gonna call it, is this journey, right? Um,
100%.
because it's filled with a lot of more things than just self discovery, and so um, that was kind of like you make sense, right? Like this is worthy, or this is worth me paying attention to. But I was in a relationship, a marriage that was very toxic, very fucking
Mhm.
toxic, right? And by the point where why but by the time that I had received that, and I was like, I need to love myself, and in turn I can receive love from her.
Mhm.
I had gotten to that point where I said I don't really know what love is, right? Because, and this is more that we can talk about when I come on your show.
Yes,
All,
yes,
all,
yes.
all I knew about love is pain, right? From a
Yeah.
child, child, I remember hearing, "I'm doing this because I love you," and it was followed by getting my ass beat, right? Uh,
Right.
and so I knew love was pain, and I knew uh, that love was heartache, instead of love is joyous. Love is kind. Love is free. Love is, love is your partner walking through the door, smiling at you when she gets home from work, and you're just
Right.
elated. You're fucking happy to see her because you missed her all day, right? That's what love is. Love is not this fairy tale shit that you see in Cinderella, where she loses her goddamn slipper and then the whole world goes to shit and somebody's got to go search for it. That's not what love is,
Right.
right?
Right.
And so really learning what love is, and what love was, I got to a point where it was already too late for me in my marriage.
in that
where
particular relationship.
yeah, in that particular relationship, it was already too late. And when I really got to that point where I said, I love you, and this is why, blah 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 blah. She had already moved on, right? I didn't know
Right.
that she had moved on, but there were some things happening behind the scenes that I wasn't aware of, and so
Mhm.
um, it was the universe, kicking me in the ass, giving me a wake up call that I'm worthy of love and I'm worthy of all the nice things in life. My past doesn't define who I am now, and all that good stuff. So yeah.
Right. So, in realizing the love that you have for yourself, then you also have a greater capacity to love and connect with other human beings, and
Oh, absolutely.
much greater
Absolutely.
because, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's the thing is if you don't love yourself, if you don't
Mhm.
give yourself the grace, give yourself the kindness, and be, forgive yourself for the shit that happened when you were younger, or when you were a few years younger, you're never going to be able to get that love, that true unadulterated love that people are like, oh, that is what I want. That's what I strive to achieve. You'll never get that.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes.
100%.
This journey.
Yeah, the journey. Oh, and that like I speak the same language. This journey, and in this particular life, there is there's a journey I'm on, and you're on. We're all on this. This is, again, these are my opinions, based upon, again, what revelations and epiphanic moments I'm having throughout this journey. And it's like, okay, so I'm all about energy, and everything is energy. There's nothing that isn't energy. Everything is of the same energy. Everything is one. There's just different frequencies of vibrations, or different elements that are coming together that vibrate, at a certain
Yeah.
frequency. And, for instance, I, so I don't dwell on what happened, the one particular situation that happened in 2019 anymore, like I did those several months afterwards. But from time to time, I'll be like, in the middle of the night, I woke up. This was like 4 o'clock in the morning. Pay attention when you wake up at like between 4 and 5 in the morning too. And it's for some reason that situation, what these people at that company did, and I'm like, and I remember I was like, wow, the burden that they're carrying for because they know the truth.
Yeah.
Everybody was a part of it. They all know the truth because I called all their asses out on paper in black and white. They all know. But so it's like, look at the burden that they're carrying, knowing that they did that to someone. And I go, so I recently became certified Reiki 1 and 2,
Hmm.
and that's,
Hmm.
again, energy work. And it hit me, epiphanic moment, that okay, because again, I'm responsible. I'm still responsible. So I brought that energy, the energy that is of that situation. So I went, what have I done? Maybe I was in a previous life, because I do believe in reincarnation. Third law of thermodynamics, or maybe it's the first one. Either energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It's just, you know, transfers
Yeah.
one from another. So I'm like, in a previous life, maybe I was somebody who made up lies and who fucked people over and took and stole, and was this, this person that in this particular journey in this life, I am, or so what you reap, you sow. So, where I'm creating these experiences that if I don't, transform the energy, and forgive myself for maybe past lifetimes where I did things that brought about this. So I did this Reiki session, and I said, I can't, their journey is their journey. I
Hmm.
can forgive myself. I can transmute this karmic energy for myself. So I did, and I did a Reiki session, and fell asleep. But then I felt like right asleep. Sometimes I was like, I'll toss and turn till 6 a.m. And then I'm like, I fall asleep, Sean. When I did wake up around 7 a.m., I was in a pool of sweat. It was not hot. This was like 2.5, 3 months ago. And I had this beautiful dream that me and two of my best soulmate girlfriends, one teaches Koya and yoga. She was in this dream. She was facilitating this yoga sound journey class. And me and my other good friend, our other good friend, were there, and my other good friends teased me. Oh, the girl who gave me the Stephanie nickname.
Yeah.
Her name's Laura. Laura and Jess. Anyway, and Laura's teasing me, and I've got these chimes all around my house. And in the dream, I was um I had all my chimes, and I was trying to figure out where to hang them. So they would all receive the vibration of whatever my girlfriend was going to be facilitating in the sound journey. I wake up. That's the dream I had. Woke up in a pool of sweat. And then I was like, wow, I feel so light. Like this heaviness, this physical heaviness was gone.
That's good. That's awesome. All right. So before we go,
Yes.
Stephanie, what advice would you give to somebody that is struggling, with the sense of unworthiness or lack of self love, lack of self care? What would you give to them?
The first thing is to what I would say is if you want to work with someone who works with facilitating bringing that, or even without that, on your own, write down, sit down with a piece of paper, go get a journal, whatever, and just write things in your life. Just start, because it's about having a gratitude attitude. Okay, so I don't feel worthy. I have low self-esteem. I can't do this right. I can't do that. What am I grateful for? Every single person on the freaking planet. I'm breathing. I have food to eat. It's a sunny day. My cat, my pet, just it's about lifting the vibration. Okay, we're trying to lift the frequency, lift the energy. What am I grateful for? Okay, so I can think of one thing today, because my wife pissed me off, and all right. So I am grateful that I woke up today, and that's it. But that's one thing. So then the next day, maybe you think of two things. Next day, you think of five things. The more you can, and I'm going to tell you right now, guys, when you start going, oh, I'm grateful for this, oh, I'm grateful for this, and you get your mind rolling again. Okay, this is about creating new neural pathways, because what fires together wires together, thought patterns. So you want to create new chemical going on in your brain and your soul and your heart and everything, to where you're starting to feel lighter, even if it's a little bit happier, or a little bit, oh wow, I'm grateful. Wow, I wrote, I realized I have a lot to be fucking grateful for. Just start with grateful. Then you gradual. It's baby steps. It's not like, oh, I listened to Stephanie's podcast today. Wow, I'm amazing. But you got to do the things. You got to
Yeah.
do the things. You got to take the action steps and start. Just start with, what are you grateful for? However many things you can think of, whether it's one thing, whether it's 100 things, and it will, and then you go, oh, I want to build upon that, and then eventually, that's start there, and then you can start transitioning into bigger things, like, okay, what's awesome about me? Okay, maybe not awesome. What's something I do good? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Let's start. What's something I do good?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I do that good. Well, oh shit, because I do this good. Oh, I do that. Wow, I can do that. I'm really amazing at this. Holy. So you just start with realizing, like, what's awesome about you.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Does that make sense? Does
Absolutely.
that make sense?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay.
I love practicing all that. I love practicing what I'm grateful for. I ask the people that I work with, what are you grateful for today?
I
And
just
like you
wanted to
said,
say that the
go ahead.
last thing I want to do is seem unrelatable. Like, God, Stephanie is just, oh, she's so up here. How could I'm not there? No, 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 no. That, yeah, I just want to make sure.
Yeah. Oh no, no. I really I can understand you perfectly. You know, I ask people that I work with, what are you grateful for? And some people are like, oh, I don't know. I'm like, well, you're awake, right? You're alive. You got to eat. You got food in your stomach. You've got a roof over your head. You're driving in a car. It may not be nice, but you got a car, and other people are walking, right? And it's snowing where you live at. So like, there's 5 things right there that you could be grateful for, and that was just literally right off the top of my head. It gets challenging when you have to do it the next day, and you got to do things that are completely opposite or completely different than the day before. You got to do that
Right.
deep dive. And then what
But
I
you know
love
what?
about myself.
Yeah, but you know what, Sean? Even if you are grateful for the same 3 things or 5 things, that's a start,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden it builds and you have that realization, "Oh, today I'm grateful for 6 things."
Yep. Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I had a counselor that was like, you got to do 5 things every day, and they can't be the same as before. So I was like, holy shit, that's a lot. I have a lot to do in a week. But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it was good exercise for me to start realizing some of those things that I needed to work on. But anyways, Miss Stephanie, where can we find you?
Okay. Oh, I'm rebranding. I'm in the process of rebranding because y'all, DeFaRekinlious, y'all, that's my baby. It is. It's my baby. But people might like, well, how the hell do you spell what DeFaRek? How do you spell that? Even if you kind of misspell it, I actually do come up in Google. But, I'm making it so much easier. My new way that you can find me, my website, just Healthy Chef Steph, STEPH, Healthy Chef Steph.com.
Boom.
That'll take you to DeFaRekinlious.com because I got the both domains, but healthychefstuff.com, Facebook, and Instagram. I think I provided like Instagram, Facebook, website, all that stuff. Everything's clickable, but if you just don't Google healthychefstuff.com, just put it in the search healthychefstuff.com, and I got a freebie. I got 3 freebies. 10 things to stop doing now. 10 things to start doing now. And then right now it's spring forward into fabulous. And it's just a list, 5, 10, 15, 20. There's a week of ingest. There's a week of reading, writing, 10 things you're grateful for, 10 things you like about yourself. Just, and if only you can think of one thing, that's fine. Just get yourself in that habit and that mindset. So
Absolutely.
healthychefstuff.com.
HealthyChefSteph.com. Alrighty. Steph, I'd like to thank you for being here. Steph Funny. I want to
Thank you.
thank you for being here and sharing your experience with us and really, really opening it up. And you have a fire about you that I have not seen in very many people, and I appreciate that.
Thank you, Sean. And it's been an honor to be here. And I'm excited about you coming on my show tomorrow.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll be on her show tomorrow, but when this airs, I'll be on her show in the past. So,
Yeah.
all right. All right. You guys have probably have seen it by the point this comes out, but I hope that you
Right.
guys have a nice day. And once again, I want to say thank you, Steph, for hanging out with us. Thank you, everybody, for listening in, watching, whatever you're doing, wherever you're at. I want to say thank you. And till next time, much love.
Bye, everybody.